Imagine dedicating, nearly 20 years of your life to your faith, to service, and you're venturing into this extremely remote region, the Akha area in northern Thailand.
Yeah, it's mountainous borderland.
Yeah.
Inhabited by distinct ethnic groups, often really far from modern infrastructure.
So communication is almost impossible, I guess. What truly harrowing, life and death situations might you encounter there when every resource is miles away and danger could be anywhere?
Exactly. And that's what we're exploring today.
Right. Today, we're taking a deep dive into these compelling personal audio recordings from Pastor Hu Zikyang. They chronicle 3 just astonishingly close encounters he had with death during his missionary work.
And, these aren't just stories he shared publicly right from the get-go. Some of these memories, they were so intensely personal, so harrowing, that he only told his own wife about them years later. Gives us this really unfiltered look into experiences most people just can't comprehend.
Wow. Okay, so through his gripping firsthand accounts, our mission here is to try and understand the extreme risks, the profound challenges, the stuff hidden behind what looks like, simple faith or service.
Challenges outsiders can barely imagine, really. Pushing the limits.
Definitely. So let's talk about those challenges in such an unforgiving landscape. What was the first real test for him? His first brush with death?
Well, his very first close call, it really hammered home the sheer danger of the terrain itself, a pure environmental hazard. You could say he was on this treacherous mountain road.
Okay, so picture this with us. It's late evening, darkness is falling fast, and he's on a rugged dirt road high up in the mountains. Pastor Hu and another missionary worker, they were heading to a very remote church called Jyoti. You can just imagine the road conditions, fading light, total isolation.
And the road itself was terrifyingly steep. He described it as having like a 20 to 35 degree incline.
That's steeper than a lot of ski slopes, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. On a loose dirt track in the dark.
Right, so Pastor Hu was riding behind his colleague, and then he lost control, fell off his motorcycle.
And this is where the terrifying reality of those environments really kicks in. He fell to the right.
Okay.
Which meant he only scraped his hand pretty badly. But if he'd fallen just, a foot or two the other way, to the left,
oh no,
he would have gone straight down into a very deep cliff. It just highlights how in these places where the margins are paper thin, life and death can be, inches or just pure luck.
That matter of inches thing is chilling. It really makes you think about all the other hidden dangers just lurking there beyond the obvious terrain.
It does. Fortunately, 2 Thai passersby actually spotted them and helped him get back up.
Oh, that's lucky. But the risk? You can feel it.
Absolutely. The sheer danger of that specific route was undeniable, and it left a mark. After that happened, none of the Taiwanese coworkers dared to try that road on a motorcycle again.
Wow.
It was just a clear, brutal lesson about what happens when you miscalculate out there.
So, okay, navigating the landscape is one thing, but facing a direct, aggressive threat, that's different. And he found that out too, right? During just a simple walk.
Yes, exactly. His next big encounter, it shows a totally different kind of danger. Wildlife. But amplified massively by the isolation. This happened a bit earlier in his missionary work. He was visiting a remote Lahu community center. And that evening, he just decided to go explore a nearby lake he hadn't seen before.
And what's really fascinating here, almost uncanny, is that earlier that same morning, he was doing his spiritual reflection, praying, and he'd read the Bible story about Moses' staff turning into a snake, and he said he got this undeniable feeling, this premonition almost, that this area might have snakes.
And he was right. On his way to the lake, he actually saw a dead snake.
Okay.
But then on his way back, suddenly he heard this quick shoo sound, and another snake just darted out of the grass right at him, attacking him.
Whoa. How close?
Shockingly close. Only about 20 or 30 centimeters away, like less than a foot.
Good grief.
Thankfully, he just reacted instantly. Pure reflex. Jumped back, dodged it.
That's terrifying. That idea of a snake that quick, that aggressive, and you're miles from anywhere. That premonition he had. Some might call it intuition, maybe? Or divine guidance, like he felt.
It's a really compelling question, isn't it? He later confirmed it was an arrow snake in Chinese.
Arrow snake, never heard of it.
Yeah, they're known for being incredibly fast, highly venomous. It's a neurotoxin, attacks the nervous system.
Oh, wow, so you need help fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which was completely impossible there. If he'd been bitten in that isolated spot, the outcome would have been catastrophic.
Right.
The nearest proper hospital was in Chiang Rai.
Right.
That's 75 kilometers away. an hour and a half by car, minimum.
There was no car, right?
No car available. And, crucially, zero phone signal to even call for help. So it raises that question for us, doesn't it? How does a simple natural threat like a snake become so deadly, so completely insurmountable, just because basic resources aren't there?
Yeah, it just highlights the extreme vulnerability. A small incident becomes potentially fatal.
Totally. The isolation just magnifies everything.
So, okay, we've got treacherous terrain, dangerous wildlife made worse by isolation. But you said the most dangerous experience involved human conflict. He somehow ended up inside a rebel base. That sounds like a whole other level of danger.
It really was. A whole different level of risk, and arguably the most terrifying for him. This was near the Myanmar border, a place called Mang Mai.
Okay.
And it was a base for Burmese Bamar rebels. This wasn't some small outpost either. We're talking about 4,000 rebels stationed there.
4,000.
Yeah. And they'd even forcibly conscripted about 200 local Aka and Lahu villagers into their ranks. So the danger wasn't just environmental or accidental anymore. It was, well, deliberate human threat.
The sheer terror of being somewhere like that, feeling so exposed, it's hard to even imagine why. Why on earth did Pastor Hu go there? Did he know what it was?
He went because local believers, people he knew from the area, had invited him. They wanted his help to establish a church there.
So his mission was service, but it put him right in the lion's den, basically.
Pretty much. And his Taiwanese appearance obviously made him stand out immediately. A huge risk factor.
Yeah, he wouldn't blend in at all. So how did he even get past the guards, the perimeter?
Well, that's the thing. Even though he used a local name, a Kwang, they noticed him right away at the base's control point. The whole place was built for defense. There was this 100-meter-long, steep uphill entrance, easy to defend, impossible to escape from quickly, and all the soldiers were heavily armed. AK-47s everywhere.
Oh, man.
Pastor Hugh himself admitted he felt a level of fear he'd never known before. He knew if they captured him, best case, a massive ransom.
In worst case?
Worst case, being forced into slave labor until he died. And in a place like that, no one's coming to rescue you. It wasn't just about risk anymore. It was the immediate, real threat of losing his life. Right there.
Unbelievable. The stakes just couldn't be higher. How did he get out? It sounds like a trap.
This is where it gets really incredible. A moment of just extraordinary timing or fortune or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right at the most tense moment when they were sort of deciding what to do with him, a sudden torrential downpour started, just opened up.
Seriously, rain?
Pouring rain. And the rebels immediately scattered, ran for cover.
Wow.
And his Aka co-worker, who was with him, just incredible quick thinking, seized that split second. They rushed into a nearby dormitory building.
Okay.
Pastor Ho gave a really quick, concise sharing, a prayer session, maybe 30 minutes total. And as soon as the rain eased off a bit, they were quickly escorted out of the base.
Just like that.
Just like that. A true hair's breadth escape. The weather literally created the window they needed to survive.
That's incredible. That mix of like quick thinking from his colleague, the sudden rain, and his own commitment to still do what he came for even then. Amazing. He later shared a photo, didn't he, from that steep road?
Yeah, the one from the motorcycle incident. He's smiling in the photo, but he said his heart was pounding like it wanted to jump out of his chest.
I bet.
And he really stressed to his coworkers afterwards, like, no Taiwanese person who doesn't understand the incredibly complex local situation should ever go into an area like that rebel base again.
Makes sense.
And he shares these stories not to boast or to scare people, but really to bear witness to what he sees as God's protection and grace.
Right.
But he also really wants people on the outside to understand the immense pressure, the silent challenges that missionaries face all over the world, challenges far beyond what most of us can even imagine.
And even though he finished his long-term work in the Aka region back in 2020, he's apparently said he's willing to continue missionary work if the chance comes up again.
Yeah, it shows this ongoing dedication, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems to transcend his own personal safety.
Definitely. So when we look back at his story, these accounts, we've really seen 3 very different kinds of deadly danger.
Yeah, exactly. First, there are those accidental perils of just being in a remote environment where the terrain itself is a major threat.
Right, like a motorcycle crash.
Then second, the threat from dangerous wildlife, which becomes critical because of the total lack of resources or help.
Yeah, or a snake.
And third, the human-made dangers. Armed conflict zones, rebels. where the threat is intentional and the consequences could be catastrophic.
It's such a potent reminder, isn't it, that these actions we see as noble, service, pursuing an ideal, they often come with this incredibly high personal cost, physically, psychologically.
Yeah. And it's not just about faith, though that's central for him. It also highlights this profound determination, this courage, and that split-second wisdom you need just to navigate these extreme environments, constantly adapting.
Absolutely.
Now, Pastor Hugh attributes his survival, his resilience to his faith, to God's grace. But if you look at it from another angle, what is it? What inner drive or maybe external factors compels someone to repeatedly put themselves in situations like that? High risk, again and again, for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, that's the lingering question, isn't it? Could that kind of sustained commitment almost a disregard for personal safety, could that also be seen as, I don't know, the ultimate pursuit of meaning, something that goes beyond just rational calculation? It's definitely something to think about.